Welcome, everyone. This is Contagious Games, Podtagious Podcast, episode number 9. I am Pete, and we have Kyle and Matt. No Todd today.
Hello.
Hello.
So we have a lot to talk about this podcast, a lot to do with
Something
E3.
major happened.
I know, something like major. I think it's called E3. I'm not really sure.
Has anybody
Never
heard
heard
of
of
it?
it.
Oh, okay. Well, then I don't think we should talk about it if nobody's heard of it.
And maybe we should go back to talking about the original Xbox.
Yeah, E3 was pretty huge because this year it's the whole new console generation announcements.
Indeed, a lot of talk of new consoles, which seems to be exciting. PS4 looks awesome. Xbox One looks awesome. And then there's the Wii U.
Hey, Wii U actually, some of the games look pretty cool coming out. And it's not outstanding lineup that they have coming, but I
They've
think they
got
look pretty cool.
they've got their big hitters though, Mario Kart and Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, they also got Super Mario 3D World, which I was a big fan of Super Mario World, so that looks really cool. And I believe they have a Sonic exclusive called Sonic Lost World.
I don't know about that. I've never played much Sonic, so you guys were the Sega players.
I played Sonic the Hedgehog 2 for probably a good year of my life because, that was back in the day, you had 3 games to play and you just played them all the time.
I literally think I spent the ages probably 13 through 15 playing 1080 snowboarding and GoldenEye 64.
Nice. The only snowboarding game I played was Amped on original Xbox.
I was addicted to 1080 snowboarding, and I wouldn't even once I beat the game 9 times, I would just start trying to make the coolest shot of tricks I could.
But other things on the Wii U that were announced was Bayonetta 2, which I really loved Bayonetta, so I'm looking forward to the second one.
Still never played that game.
And then they have the Wind Waker HD, which I'm a big fan of Zelda games, so.
Yeah, I'm also a big Zelda fan. Hoping that one will be even better than the last one.
And then, of course, they have the A Link to the Past sequel, which they renamed. I don't even remember what they renamed it, but it's like A Link Between Worlds. Yeah, that's what it is. But yeah, going back to the Super Smash Brothers, which I'm always happy for another Super Smash Brothers because those games are always fun to play with friends. They're gonna release the next one on Wii U and 3DS, but they're not going to have interconnectivity between the two, which seems a little silly.
It does.
Yeah.
But I don't even know if 3DS can interact with Wii U
I'm sure they could make one that could.
because Sony, their Vita can interact with the PS3, and you can play their Super Smash
Oh.
copy between the two consoles, which is really, really cool. And it actually adds a lot of multiplayer ability. If you have friends who just have a 3DS or something, they can come over and play with you.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Well, that's pretty much it from Nintendo.
Yeah. Although Mega Man being in it is pretty awesome. They're fine. You thought they would have put him in it a little earlier since he's one of their mainstay characters, but yeah, they finally
Yeah.
got around to
That's true.
About time.
it. You think of early Nintendo games, and yeah, Mega Man's in that list.
Yeah, maybe it was some holdover between Capcom because they had the whole Marvel versus Capcom thing and had him in there.
Yeah, I'm sure it probably had something to do with Capcom.
Because I'm sure they're not going to be putting Ryu in Super Smash Brothers anytime soon.
Hadouken! I think he would win.
I don't know that much about Mega Man as I've never actually played a Mega Man game, but I'm curious to see what his ultimate move is going to be.
I have no clue what his ultimate move is going to be. I just remember he could copy abilities like Kirby, and he shot bullets and jumped. That was basically all you could do back in Nintendo. So
Yep. That is pretty cool, though. I'm happy they're bringing more and more into Super Smash Brothers. It's a really, really fun title.
Indeed. And then there was the two big hitters, Xbox One and PS4.
So for the Xbox One, they announced it as $500 price point, which
Yeah,
is because you get the Kinect with the console.
grumble.
And of course all the Kinect crap that they're putting in there. And
Grumble.
then they announced that there's a 24-hour connectivity time where you have to connect to the internet in order to play your games.
Yeah, what is that?
That's really stupid.
It's incredibly stupid. Microsoft, you have to be connected to us.
It's a game console. Like there's no need to force internet connectivity in
I
a
can
console.
tell you right now, my Xbox 360 is never on that much at all. Like on once a week, if that.
So every time you turn on your 360, you'd have to confirm your identity.
Yeah, I would have to probably re-enter a password, then I'd have to bust out probably some Microsoft Authenticator, re-enter that every single time.
I mean,
Awesome. I am looking forward to this.
it's sort of a weird transition between PC and consoles now because PC we have Steam and all these online stores where you absolutely need internet in order to play your games. Well, I guess with Steam, you can play a lot of your games in the offline mode.
But you can't actually play them uh, if you haven't previously been online to install them and
Oh,
stuff
okay.
like that. It
So
won't even let you. Even if you bought the CD, you still have to connect to online
ah,
initially.
so there's that whole thing, which I'm a big fan of Steam. I love it. I like having a headquarters for all of my online games. So I don't really find it that hard to use. And but when it comes to game consoles, I really only care to turn on my game, put in a disc, and play the game.
Yeah,
I don't want to be forced to connect to the internet if I don't have to be.
but you have to update, Kyle. You have to update.
It's kind of funny because when the whole online experience started coming out and getting popular, I pretty much went full on online and I was online all the time. But now that I have my own place, my consoles aren't even connected to the internet. I just plop the disc in and play because I have my computer connected to my TV, so I have games on my PC now. So when I play my console games, I just play offline. So I don't know. It's
Mainly what I do too. Actually, right now my Xbox is connected to the internet, but it's not on. It's actually just collecting dust at the
Yeah.
moment.
So it's just really dumb. And it sounds like it's kind of similar to what who was it? EA, I think it was, with the online passes where
Yeah,
you had to put in a code for multiplayer games in order to play it. Sounds kind of a feature like that, and I'm hoping that it gets to the point where they just remove it completely
I
because
hope
it's
so.
stupid. They're like, well, this isn't working, and then remove it, but I guess we'll see.
Indeed.
And then there's for the Xbox One, they said companies are allowed to disable used games or control the functionality of how used games work, which means
Yeah.
like EA or Ubisoft or any corporation like that can just completely abandon used games if they wanted to.
Yeah, so say one game flops, but you really enjoyed it, because there's always a few fans that really enjoy a game, even if it's a flop.
Yeah.
They'll just abandon it, and you won't be able to play that game anymore.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm happy that Microsoft didn't take it into their own hands, but it's still kind of scary to allow companies to completely control it.
Yeah, well, it's like that with online MMOs. I mean, if a company decides it's not a waste or a good money, then they'll just drop it,
Yeah.
and then you can't do it anything until someone reverse hacks it.
Well, I guess at that point, you're also kind of an interesting side effect is you're making the worth of disc-based games more valuable
Yeah.
in that you look at the old cartridges of Nintendo, like I think Chrono Trigger brand new is worth $700 or whatever.
It's only a special edition that's worth that much.
Oh, okay.
The normal is still like $100 though.
Yeah. But that is only going to get more intense. You're going to have
Yeah,
these super rare games that are really popular, like cult classic games that are popular and that are going to go out and they're it's going to get to the point where you can only buy it digitally and used. You're not it's just going to throw it away. but the brand new one, untouched, is going to be worth so much more money.
Oh yeah, I saw original Legend of Zelda. I don't know if you guys know this, but when it first came out, it was had a shiny painted gold cartridge,
Yep.
and one of those
And
unopened,
my neighbors had one of those.
it's worth like a grand.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
So yeah, that's an interesting side effect that is probably going to happen. Let's see. From Microsoft, there's also the smart glass stuff that they're planning on integrating.
Yeah.
They already have really big plans for first-party games they're going to release. I think it's kind of cool to integrate tablets and phones and stuff into games. It seems like they're doing it really well in the beginning because they're not features that are forced in the gameplay. They're just additional things you can do.
Yeah, I like that they're not forced, but it seems like it will end up being that way, that you'll have to have all your things connected to it in order to play some games.
I hope it doesn't get to that point. Because
I
right
hope it
now,
doesn't either, but it's kind of pointing that way.
I think you can control some sort of matchmaking system on it, which is really cool. I'd love to be able to jump in a game of Halo just on my phone and then while I go make dinner or whatever. What else did they announce? They announced that they are no longer using Microsoft Points, which I'm happy about.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I don't know if Wii U is using points either. I don't think it is. Sony is using dollars. I know that much. So I'm glad everybody's getting away from the stupid token system.
Yeah. They finally are moving away from arcades.
And then Microsoft said the console is going to be released in November.
A good month.
I don't think Sony's announced what release date they have for it, but I imagine
I'm
November.
sure it's going to be around Christmas too.
Yeah. Yeah, Wii U has a bit of a disadvantage right now because they didn't release any games whatsoever for their console. But if they can release all these really cool games that they're planning soon as the Xbox One and PS4 come out, then they can probably manage to come back.
I still plan to get one.
Yeah, me too. Uh, Going back to Microsoft, they have this development platform called Project Spark. Have you heard of it?
No.
So it's like this game studio for the console where you can control all the features inside of the game. So they give you all the graphics and stuff and all the background code, and you just do like you build quests in the game or you build scenarios in the game. It's pretty much RPG Maker, and RPG Maker came out, I don't know, 20 years ago.
Yeah, really.
So they're making RPG Maker and releasing it as a Xbox One feature.
Basically, they're giving you Game Maker in Xbox One with some of the programming already done.
Yep, kind of interesting, and I do like the idea of being able or having a crowdsourced game section, but I always felt that RPG Maker was missing something. It's kind of weird because you take level editors in games like Halo that are really robust and let players do a lot of different things, like make racing maps or something like that, and that goes crazy wild. And then you make this whole platform where you give everybody so much. It's almost like you give the players too much to work with, so there's not a lot of really cool things that come out of it. Other minor things from Microsoft was they started doing the monthly free games that Sony has been doing since they released PlayStation Plus, which is kind of cool because I always liked the PlayStation Plus free game thing. I've all the free games that have come out for PlayStation Plus haven't really interested me, but it's a really really cool added bonus for online.
Yeah, I saw Sony's gauntlet that they threw down at Microsoft with reselling games and crap. That was pretty hardcore by them.
The video that they made.
Yeah, the video they made. Oh man.
They're pretty much like, screw you, Microsoft, we're awesome.
Yeah.
It's it's sad but true. It's just I'm really disgusted by all the hate that is going towards Microsoft and the Xbox One because I don't really understand it other than it's just giant flame wars. It's just a bunch of trolls yelling at each other about
From
the Xbox.
really what I see, the people that are hating it are mainly fanboys. When you go to the devs, they're mainly supporting it. I haven't seen one dev yet say, I really hate Xbox One. I've seen some of them complain about one or two features, but it's only like a light thing. Whereas most people are just freaking out over reselling games and
Yeah.
having to be connected and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's really dumb.
Yeah,
Haters gonna hate.
indeed.
Pretty much. Then Microsoft announced a new Xbox 360 model based on the Xbox One design,
Yeah,
which
I saw that.
looks really slick,
It
honestly.
does.
I like the design of it.
I do too.
And then we have all the Xbox games that they announced. Of
Quite a
course,
few.
yeah. Of course, they announced Halo 5. I mean,
Of
who
course.
didn't expect that?
If you played through Halo 4, not me. Like, I played through it from beginning to end recently, and yeah, just watching the end there, I totally did not expect a new one. Man.
I'm always happy to see a new Halo trailer because they do a really damn good job on their Halo trailers.
Of course.
They're very cinematic, and I love the atmosphere in them, and really, really well done.
Although the last Halo, I felt they had a lot of cinematics in it.
Yeah, in the game.
Yeah.
I'm referring to the advertisements.
Oh, I know. It's just the cinematics in the last game. There was a lot of,
Yeah.
but they have a lot of story to explain, so I guess that's a good thing.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of Halo. I'll play them constantly as they release. Mostly the single player. I kind of fell off the multiplayer bandwagon
Yeah.
until they, God forbid, release a Halo 2 Anniversary Edition. My entire existence will go into that game if it comes out. I'm a big fan of Halo 2 and Halo 2 multiplayer, so I don't look forward to when that comes out. There's a lot of in my life.
Yeah, that was the terminant time. I don't know if we will be able to get Kyle back from this.
I'll come back a year later, all scraggly, unemployed. My mom's house, like, what's up, guys? I'm back.
Kyle, you just stopped showing up to life.
You haven't posted anything on Facebook in a year. Other than your last thing posted was, "Oh my God, Halo 2 anniversary."
That was 1 year ago.
But yeah, Halo's awesome. And then they announced Crimson Dragon, which is made by the guy who did Panzer Dragoon, which I never actually played Panzer Dragoon, but it's pretty cool to see that IP come back.
Yeah, I never played it either, but it sounded cool.
I think I had one on Sega Saturn. I think I had a Panzer Dragoon. I think it was the first Panzer Dragoon, maybe? I might be wrong, but interesting. Then Microsoft announced Dead Rising 3, which I am incredibly excited for. Dead Rising is one of my favorite recent years IP.
Mm-hmm.
Such a fun game. I even loved the first one, even though there was so much hate for it because of the really bad save system, where you had to run to a toilet to save. Which they fixed that in Dead Rising 2, and Dead Rising 2 was really, really fun.
You know, I have never played one of those games. I've only seen people play them.
They're super fun. They give you the ability to craft weapons and then go kill zombies with your crafted weapons. And yeah, it's a super fun game. And yeah, in Dead Rising 3, they're giving players a nightmare mode for fans of the original, which means you have to save at bathrooms.
So you know the only place you're safe from the zombie is in the toilet.
They respect your privacy.
That's right.
So, oh, I can't go in there.
Then Killer Instinct, they also announced for the Xbox One. Really exciting to see that IP come back for a lot of people. That was a big popular fighter back in the day. People have been curious what everybody's doing with. That was the Oh, actually I might be getting confused with another fighter. I think that was the game where they had the creatures fighting each other. I believe I've played that. Yeah, yeah, the creatures. They had like giant lizards and apparently Predator.
Was it Primal Rage?
Primal Rage
Yeah.
was awesome
I get those two confused.
with the raptors with the feathers.
I'm not sure what companies can really do with fighters now though, nowadays. It's just like it's been beaten to death at this point. Like what can you do to a fighter to make it more interesting?
Put Alpha Omega HD remix on
Pretty much. Release one with crappy graphics and then release it a year later with HD graphics.
it.
Square Enix did have it right with their Dissidia game. I loved that game. It was a fighter RPG, and you fought in the arena like a typical fighter, and then outside of the fighting, you had a whole level up system and an equipment system that you equipped each individual character with, and it had a whole management system for your characters. So I really, really, really loved that game. So that was a lot of interesting stuff added onto a fighter. So. It just seems like companies are going with what works with fighters.
So the people that are going to be developing this Killer Instinct is going to be Rare.
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
you kidding me? They're coming back.
Well, they've been kind of lingering under.
Lingering that under like, oh, I see they got brought back by Microsoft.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they got bought out by Microsoft a long time ago, and Microsoft has just been holding them open, and they've been releasing like Banjo-Kazooie games and Viva Pinata and other cartoony crap like that. So they're Microsoft. It seems like it's like Microsoft's secret weapon, but they don't actually release anything good.
Apparently, they were responsible for all of the Connect sports.
Yeah,
That's scary.
yeah. So I don't know. Yeah, and then for Sony, they announced that it's going to be $400 for the PlayStation 4,
Yeah.
which they're not gonna force the PlayStation Eye upon everybody like Xbox is doing with the
Thank
Kinect,
God.
Yeah, no shit.
which is a good decision by them.
Yes, very.
And then PlayStation Plus is going to be required for multiplayer games. It's kind of interesting that they're doing that because they were all about the free multiplayer for PlayStation 3, but now
Yeah.
they're going required pay for multiplayer games. But that's a good thing because that allows for dedicated servers for games and stuff like that. It just allows for better maintenance all around.
I just hope that when PS4 comes out, it isn't constantly updating like the PS3.
So bad. Yeah. They announced that there's going to be a cloud system for their games, which they didn't really go into too much detail for that I heard of, but I'm assuming it's going to be a cloud system to play older games
hmm
rather than buying the old games and storing them on your hard drive. You can buy the old games on the online store and play them in the cloud. That's what I'm guessing.
I'm guessing that too.
Then they announced that it's going to have a 500 gigabyte hard disk drive, which is intense. Then it's going to be region free, which means you can buy a Japanese one and play it in America.
Hmm.
And then they said The Last Guardian is on hiatus, which, gasp, who would have thought?
I know.
That game has been in development for so freaking long. It's becoming the next Duke Nukem Forever.
Which, oddly enough, there is a lawsuit going over that Duke Nukem Forever right now from 3D Realms and Gearbox. 3D Realms is suing Gearbox for $2.9 million.
For what?
because they say they're owed royalties that Gearbox never paid them.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, they're fighting over it.
Yeah, Duke Nukem Forever, big fiasco and a big scar on what's the game studio? Something. Oh, Gearbox.
Gearbox.
Yeah. Uh, but yeah, other important mentions from E3 are Mirror's Edge 2, which I'm
Yay.
so happy about. I loved Mirror's Edge so much.
Hmm.
So I'm happy to see Mirror's Edge 2 come out. They said it's going to be a reboot, which is,
Which is kind of weird, making it
yeah.
a sequel name, but having it be a reboot.
Yeah. Well, no, they didn't say it's not actually called Mirror's Edge 2. That's just everybody's.
Oh, it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's so what?
Yeah, it's called Mirror's Edge 2.
No,
Yes.
I don't think so. But yeah, I'm happy about that game. And then Metal Gear Solid 5, of course. Who would have thought? Final one thing was interesting was the Final Fantasy 15 announcement. And it was interesting because it was previously titled Final Fantasy Versus 13, which is another game that has been in development for years now. And they announced it a long time ago when they were planning the whole 10-year Final Fantasy 13 thing a long time ago. And Final Fantasy Versus 13 just never came about because
And
the development studio was too busy to work on it. And now apparently they renamed it Final Fantasy 15 and are going to make it for both PS4 and Xbox One.
yeah, it's called Mirror's Edge 2.
That's that's ridiculous.
Unless they change it right before release, it's
Or later on down the line.
yeah, it's going as Mirror's Edge 2. That's what their E3 trailer was called.
That's dumb. And then Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out, which is crazy because the last one, Kingdom Hearts 2, came out in 2005, I want to
Yeah,
say.
really. I was gonna say that it's a bit of a gap.
Yeah. They've been releasing the portable ones like 342 and a half days and Dream Drop Distance and all those stupid silly names that they come up with. But they haven't released a single number one in a long time. And I really, really loved Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, so I'm surprised that they haven't been supporting it this whole time. But yeah, that's pretty much the highlights. Oh, one last thing I wanted to cover was Assassin's Creed 4 is going to have a game lab where you can create custom multiplayer modes.
Yeah, that sounded cool. Apparently, during the trailer of Assassin's Creed 4, there was a mix-up. I watched the trailer for it, and I couldn't see it, but apparently there's a mistake in there that Assassin's Creed diehard fans are upset about.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
But yeah, the multiplayer creation sounds friggin' awesome.
it does. It
You can
sounds very awesome.
you can do so many really cool things in a game where you assassinate people.
Indeed.
But
And,
that's pretty much it.
well, you can't forget Destiny. It's coming out for
Yes.
both consoles. And
Yeah.
it looks freaking amazing.
It does look really, really cool. And yet again, another thing with the whole Halo universe, because of course Bungie, they make really, really badass trailers.
Hmm.
Destiny looks, it just visually looks amazing.
Indeed. Like, I really hate Bungie artists.
Jealous?
I need to, like Highlander, just go over there and just cut off all their heads and absorb their power. If you hear of a massive murder at Bungie, do not be alarmed.
Can I do the same thing with their web designers?
Their programming team.
Yeah.
Give me your power.
Oh, one thing I almost forgot. Tom Clancy's new game called The Division. Have you heard about this?
I have not.
So it's an open world role-playing shooter.
Say what?
Yeah, well, like Borderlands.
Yeah.
But it's a Tom Clancy game and it looks friggin' fantastic.
Well, if it's anything like Rainbow Six, I can believe that it will be amazing.
It looks like it's more like Ghost Recon than Rainbow Six because it looks like it's third person.
Yeah,
But just the fact that it's a huge open world shooter game from Tom Clancy, that is awesome.
yeah.
Tom Clancy titles tend to be really good,
Hmm.
shooter-wise, that is.
Well, they seem to have a pretty good handle on shooters, so
Yeah, that's for sure.
I'm guessing it'll be an awesome. And Tom Clancy isn't one to put his name on something that sucks.
Yeah. I'm dying to play the next Rainbow Six game.
Yeah.
I
Although
love
one
these games.
1.5 really disappointed me.
1.5?
Rainbow Six 2. It was more like Rainbow Six
Oh,
1.5.
you mean Rainbow Six Vegas 2?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It was just an expansion pack, really.
Yeah. Even though they called it a whole separate game, it was like an added expansion.
Yeah, but those games were incredibly fun. I loved those games. I've been playing Rainbow Six since Rainbow Six 3. Played Black Arrow. I think that was the only one on Xbox. And then Rainbow Six Vegas, and then Vegas 2. Yeah, I'm a big fan of those titles. So I'm looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, I enjoyed Rainbow Six Vegas a lot.
That's pretty much it from E3
I think
for.
we have covered all of E3.
Yes, we have. Oh, one thing to look forward to from Contagious Games is Marvel Universe Online Let's Play. I've
Yeah,
played a
our
little bit.
dev plays.
Yes. Episode 2.
Yep, we have episode 1 out right now of our dev play where we screw around in Terraria
Yeah.
and fight the first few bosses. Kyle and I are still learning the game, but you should check it out.
Throwing boomerangs at zombies.
Boomerangs of Justice.
Yes. Unite. But yeah, I've played a couple hours of Marvel Universe Online, and it's pretty fun so far. It's all it is Diablo, but with Marvel characters. But
Yeah, from what I've seen, it looks pretty fun. So I'm gonna be interested in this dev play.
yeah. So, yep.
It'd be nice if Matt joined us.
I'm here.
I meant for the dev play.
Oh.
That was good. That was great.
Matt's over there falling asleep.
Only a little bit.
I think that's it.
Matt, sign us out.
This is Contagious Games. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.